Lexie, whether it's diving on the floor, tipping balls out for rebounds, all of the little things that you do to impact this game. How do you describe the desire in you right now?
Basically the end of the third quarter, and then it was a wrap. Lexie Hull, folks. She showed up, and she showed up big.
I mean, we want to win. We want to keep playing. We want another game in Vegas. So that's what we're fighting for. We don't want our season to end.
You've got the momentum right now. You can close it out and force that game 5.
Lexie Hull wasn't even supposed to play at this level in Game 4. With a bad back and almost no practice time, she went toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the WNBA and shut them down. How does a player go from barely being able to move during warm-ups to locking down stars like Jackie Young when the season is on the line? That's the kind of story that flips a whole series, and it's exactly what we're breaking down right now.
16 points, 10 rebounds, 6 of 10 from the field.
Keep them off the free throw line, knocking down shots, and just sticking to our scout. I think we've done a pretty good job of that so far, but just keep it going for 10 more minutes.
For the Indiana Fever, her defense was unbelievable. She had 2 block shots tonight. She had a double-double.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
The Indiana Fever were in this game. Nobody can blame the refs for this game at all tonight. Man, that turned into a really tough game to watch.
How does somebody who wasn't even supposed to play full minutes suddenly become the reason the Las Vegas Aces can't score the way they want? That's exactly what happened with Lexie Hull in this game. Before tip-off, hardly anyone believed she'd be more than a short rotation player. She was dealing with a lingering back injury, had limited practice, and looked like the kind of player you'd use for a few breaks here and there. But instead of fading into the bench role people expected, Hull completely flipped the script and forced one of the most polished offenses in the league out of their comfort zone. The Aces thrive when they're running the floor.
Lexie Hull, she's the only reason these games have been as close as they've been. She has been the Indiana Fever's best player the last 2 games with a messed up back.
Jackie Young is usually flying down the wing, Aya Wilson drawing attention in the middle, and Kelsey Plum spotting up for threes before defenders can even blink. And guarding that type of attack isn't easy even when you're in top health. Hull, with her back clearly not at 100%, was matched up against that chaos. Most thought she'd get left in the dust. Instead, she chased them down play after play like she hadn't missed a beat. Think about the pressure of that assignment. You're guarding Young, one of the best at getting downhill in transition, while also keeping an eye on shooters spacing the floor. That's a nightmare by itself.
But what she can do is she can draw 2 charges a game of an elite scorer and get them into foul trouble and they're gone. Lexie Hull's kind of all intangibles. And she is a defensive playmaker. She's not a defensive stopper, she's a defensive playmaker.
Add in the fact that Hull wasn't even expected to log heavy minutes, and it should have been an impossible task. But every time the Aces pushed, there she was. What really stood out was her work on the weak side. When Vegas moved the ball to the corner, Hull slid over like she already knew where it was going. When cutters tried to sneak behind the defense, she closed the space and forced them back out. People assumed her back would slow her down, but if anything, the injury made her play even more desperate, even more focused.
Lexie Hull better get her a fat-ass bag this offseason. Let's check out this block shot. It was a thing of beauty. Get out of here. Lexie Hull, that was badass.
The Fever coaching staff clearly trusted her to stay glued to shooters and clog up passing angles. You could see her stretching the Aces out of their rhythm, forcing ball handlers into tougher reads, making them hesitate just enough. And once they hesitated, Indiana pounced. Hull was at the center of those disruptions, sneaking into passing lanes and turning easy looks into turnovers. The stats tell part of the story. For steals, 7 rebounds. Those numbers weren't empty. Every one of them came at a time when Vegas was trying to ignite its fast break and flip momentum back. Hull's steals didn't just take the ball away, they killed the Aces' rhythm. Her rebounds weren't routine, either. Most were contested, scrappy efforts that denied second chances and reset the Fever's pace. Plays like that stack up in ways that don't always show immediately, but over a whole game they break an offense down.
9 of 14, 25 points. Man, 4 block shots, 16 points, 8 of 13 from the field.
By forcing turnovers and controlling the boards, Hull made Vegas play half-court basketball. That's not where the Aces shine. Becky Hammon's team wants to run, spread defenses out, and fire shots in rhythm. But Hull's defensive pressure took them out of that flow. With Hull's energy closing space on shooters and chasing off cuts, the Aces were stuck walking the ball up the floor, trying to grind through a defense instead of racing past it. That turned one of the fastest, flashiest squads into a slower, less decisive version of themselves. The funny thing is that Indiana's rotation doesn't look deep on paper. They've got talent, sure, but not the kind of bench that usually wears a powerhouse down. Hull's effort flipped that narrative. What should have been a thin group suddenly looked relentless, all because one player refused to slow down.
165,000 posts. Are you kidding me? That's awesome. And look at all the publicity. Look at this.
Instead of showing fatigue, she showed toughness that rubbed off on every teammate. Every hustle play, diving for a ball, bumping a cutter, fighting for a board, was contagious, and you could see it spread across the whole defense. That's why this wasn't just about a few steals or rebounds. It was about the shift in style. Hull elevated Indiana from a team that had to react to Vegas into one that dictated the game.
I mean, it feels like a physical game every game. Feels like it's been a physical season.
This first 2 games you have, I think the right phrase has just been beaten. Is this the most physical that you ever been in from Stanford days on?
But yes, I think, I feel like I've been on the ground a little bit more this series so far. We just keep getting back up, so that's all I can really say.
The Aces were defending just to keep up, while the Fever attacked with defensive pressure first. And it all traced back to Hull stepping into a role almost no one thought she was ready for. From injured rotation player to defensive anchor, she proved that effort and heart can be more effective than star power. And what happened next showed this impact reached further than just defensive stats.
She absolutely wants to do all of the little things. She does all the little things. It's hard to find the Lexie Hull out there.
So just trying to go out there and do the best I can. A lot of treatment with our trainers. I'm really thankful for them to spend a lot of time with me today, a lot of time with me yesterday.
Lexie does all of the little things that you want a team to do.
Lexie Hull just changed the entire vibe of the Fever's defense in a single night. It didn't matter that the Aces had the bigger names. Her energy flipped this game on its head. That's the kind of grit that shows lineups don't always decide outcomes. Effort does. But here's the question. Was Hull the true turning point of this series? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I want to see where you stand. And if you're rocking with this breakdown, hit subscribe for more WNBA coverage. This feels like the start of something bigger for Indiana basketball.